Welcome. It's so great to be together again in this new version of First Thursdays, which will incorporate global kinship and some wonderful friends into this time slot for the first time. I'd like to start with a blessing from Maria Popova. Many of you may know her from the Marginalian. And I invite you to relax and settle in. Bless chance for how across the billions upon billions of tiny and terrific events, stretching all the way back to the first particle collisions in the first stars, events each one of which could have gone differently. It sang the bright, clear note of you over the din of otherwise. Bless the last aspen leaf, waving at the tip of the skeletal branch like a bright yellow flag of resistance to gravity and time, beckoning an allegiance to life. Bless time, for how despite all its blessed and blessing indifference, it gave the aspen leaf that little extra bit to blaze and gave us each and every one of us alive this symphonic interlude between the eternal silence of not yet and never again. So welcome. It's lovely to be together. Bob, can you lead us in some tech talk, please?
Sure. Good afternoon, or morning, or evening, wherever you may be. I think most faces I've seen are familiar to me, so you probably know our Tech Talk by heart. Very simple. We ask that you keep yourself muted unless it's time for you to speak or to ask a question. And when we get to the time for questions, if you have one, please raise your hand by finding the reactions button on your Zoom toolbar. And under there, the words raise hand. And that'll bump you to the top of the queue and let us know that you would like a turn. And that's all I need to say there, I think. Now, I don't think Gail has joined us, has she?
She's having technical difficulties of a major nature.
Oh dear, okay. So does that mean we come back to Penny?
Okay. I'd like to give you a little bit of an overview of today. For 8 years, Global Kinship in its various iterations has been coming to you being hosted by Creation Spirituality Communities. And so today we thought, before we introduce the specifics of First Thursdays, we'd give you the big picture. And for that, we have some amazing dedicated people to the Creation Spirituality Communities to share their thoughts on the past, present, and future of Creation Spirituality Communities. Then the second half of our gathering will be a little taste of what each of the offerings on First Thursdays will be. Matthew Fox recently wrote, "What is creation spirituality?" A lot of people ask. It's a movement and tradition working hand in glove with scientists and world spiritual traditions to move people from selfishness, greed, and apathy to love of existence, biophilia, and love of the earth and the greater cosmos, which has birthed our unique planet. From this love is born a spiritual and cultural transformation. Each First Thursday will be an invitation to pause, reflect, and connect, not just with one another, but with the deeper currents of meaning and possibility that flow through our lives and on this home of ours. our earth like no other. It can be a communal practice of engagement and an introspection time, uniting us in this co-created space on Zoom. These gatherings are drawing from the principles of creation spirituality, trying to move us from the challenges we face in the day-to-day to give us that broader perspective that can allow for hope to bloom as we become a community of practice. Or engaged contemplation is another way to frame that. So we will go through our usual global kinship 4 times this year. Then we have a new offering that you'll hear more about with Robin Hubbard, and that is called Global Dreaming. We'll be bringing back Cosmic Vespers. And in May, we'll be sharing a labyrinth experience. All of these have an element of experiential and community and learning involved. And I'll say more about the learning piece in my segment on the Cosmic Vespers. But before we get to that, I'd like to give you and introduce you to these amazing people. Mel Bricker will lead us off with the story of the past of CSC, how it came to be. And Mel is a board member emeritus. He's been with it since the beginning and was for many years a beloved member of the faculty at University of Creation Spirituality. Then our current president, Marianne Wamba, will be sharing the present, what we're up to now. And she has a lovely first time offering to share with us. And then our new vision holder, Carolyn Million, past president of CSC, will be talking a bit about the vision for CSC. So sit back, relax, and I'd like to invite Mel to come forward and talk a little bit about what Creation Spirituality Communities has been.
You're muted, Mel.
Okay. Okay, we're here. Well, I'm very happy to be here, and I'm happy to be here with this particular program. I really appreciate what Gail and Penny and Bob have done over the years in this particular part of the Creation Spirituality experience. Really thank them for that. As Matt said, Creation Spirituality is both a tradition and a movement. And Matt Fox, of course, has been a particular articulator and promoter of a creation-centered spirituality in our time. However, I've noticed he is not the only one, he's not alone in this awakening to the spirit in ways that are needed for our times. Fox articulates the tradition as found particularly in Christianity, but also in other traditions. But creation spirituality is also a movement, and his work has been in service to that movement. I used to say to him, I'm aware that your work is very attuned to what's going on in our world today, because your genius is in articulating what people are awakening to in themselves in so many places. So we thank him for that articulation and for his inviting us into this community. And so Creation Spirituality Communities is the outgrowth of the work of Matthew Fox. And for groups. Rather, he sought to reform churches and institutions, including educational institutions, governmental institutions, and so forth. And he always said to his students, go back to where you came from and do your work with an intention to do the great work in whatever you do, and that is living in right relation. relationship with all of creation. Creation spirituality communities also came out of that spiritual movement. It came in a spiritual vision given to Susan Coppage Evans when she was studying with him in a class at Sharp Cathedral in 2005. She took her dream that she had one night and went and saw Matthew Fox, and she said, I had this dream, and it signifies to me that it's time for you to start starting churches, start groups. Well, after months of discernment with Matthew and other creation spirituality leaders, she drew a group together in Oakland, California, to discern what might be happening now and where we go after the University of Creation Spirituality. And from that vision and mission, a vision and a mission were articulated. And then in the fall of that year, she drew together a board of 9 persons. And the first years of Creation Spirituality communities were really spent in organizing and getting organized as a Creation Spirituality nonprofit in the state of Colorado. And we got that designation as a church, not because we wanted to be a church in the traditional sense, but because of some of the things that we're doing are similar to churches and could later be for nonprofit status. One of the first offerings that we did as a Creation Spirituality community was to gather people together in a face-to-face meeting in Oakland, California, in which we brought together people from all over the country and actually all over the world who were interested in Creation Spirituality. And we spent a good deal of time in that in the first years. Meetings and then online meetings, online gatherings. And there have been many programs over the years. Some of those have been successful, some haven't. A few years ago, there was the Fox Institute in Creation Spirituality, which was also established by Susan Coppage Evans. The board of Creation Spirituality really wanted to do educational classes and so forth, but with the Fox Institute, we sort of passed that over to that for a while, but that was not wasn't the right time for that. It didn't work out. So Creation Spirituality's community has begun to offer other educational opportunities. At one time, we considered changing the name of Creation Spirituality communities to Creation Spirituality Community. We weren't founding a lot of groups. And the name change discussion was acknowledgement that CSC was being a connecting opportunity within the larger CS movement. And it has been an opportunity for CS individuals to connect with one another and be supportive of one another. And we also have been supportive of small groups, study groups, worship groups, meditation groups, and so forth. Well, the movement within Creation Spirituality has continued. Having been a part of this evolving community over the years, I've watched as we've sought leadership to be on the board. And again, I sense spirit in that because the people with the gifts that we need seem to come along at the right time. I believe we're at an especially auspicious time as we can be a point of light in the darkness of our national and world conditions. I want to give a nod to the Carter funeral, which I watched this morning. It reminds us of the witness that we need so much right now, and Creation Spirituality is a part of that. I believe Creation Spirituality will be one of those points of grounding in which great mystery intends for all of us to be. And I want to give a shout out to all those who've been board members. This is an all volunteer organization. Nobody gets paid. We have a few paid positions, but very part-time. But it's been the gifts of the life energy and the spirit and the talent of so many people over the years. Thank you.
Good. Thanks, Mel. I'd like to turn it over to Mary Ann, who will be sharing as president of the board now, newly appointed president, um, what the present is for creation spirituality communities.
Thanks, Penny. First of all, I want to do a couple of shout outs, right? I want to congratulate you, all of you who are here. Give yourself a hand, a pat on the back, because you're giving yourself this time. This is important time for you to join in this circle. And I especially want to give a shout out, and a longer one, to Penny and Bob and Gail, if she's here. They started this 8 years ago. You know it. That's why you're here, many of you. And we wouldn't be here today doing this if it were not for them. Thank you, dears. And now I want to share my screen to show you our new website. Maybe. Well, I wanted it to be big, but that's okay. If you simply put in CS Communities, it has to be that plural that Mel was just talking about, .org, it'll bring you to this new page. And it gives you, this is our in-person gathering that happened last spring. And it'll show you about our educational programming. But it also gives you, if you ever want to just like print out something to share with a friend about the 4 paths or about the 6 essentials or how to join us. And I hope you have joined us. And if you can possibly sustain us even for a minimal amount, $5 a month ends up being $60 a year, we can use it, because as Mel was sharing with you, we do have 3 paid members, not members, staff members. And they are the people the person who developed our new website, because we're trying to make it friendlier all the time. The contact person, Nathan, I'm sure you've had lots of contact with Nathan, if you've signed up for anything, who is the voice of CSC and responds to you. And then our new vision holder, who's going to help us step into what Carolyn will tell you about after this. But I also want to go to, if I can, I want to go to, this is very interesting. I can't make it a big screen. How come? All right. Here we go. If we go to, you could go to events, but let's go to the calendar. This is what I'm the most excited about. If you look at the calendar, and not everything's there even, okay? But the CSC does a lot more than most people think we do. Every first Sunday, we've got an opportunity to get together and worship in a CS kind of way, centered that way. And every first Thursday now, we have this, what Penny and Bob are telling you about. And it's not here, but every second Tuesday, we have a song fest from 7:30 Eastern Time until 8:15 Eastern Time. We have certification classes, the next one starting on Wednesday the 15th. We have elective classes, the next one starting on Thursday the 16th. And we have lots of other electives that might be happening. This one is Qigong and haiku writing. It's about grace. We've talked to Daniel Barber about a drumming workshop. We're trying to entice Robin in to do a dream elective. All right. And let's see. What I really want to share with you right now, though, is that pay attention to the calendar. But the next thing that's going to be coming out is the 4 Paths Project. CSC used to do immersion retreats, and we might still do some of those, but now we have 4 webinars, which are very close to being completed, and booklets that go with them, with each one. And Bob is going to play. This is not terribly organized. This is, hey, Charlie, we want to show them what they might expect. This is not super duper organized. It wasn't meant for that. This is a trailer to show you there are 4 different luminaries, people who studied at CSC, 4 different art as med kind of art as meditation experiences. There will be an MC, a fabulous one that's not even on here. And there is Robin doing body prayer and sacred readings from many traditions. So that's coming. It'll be affordable. It's something for individuals or organizations. Okay, Bob, it's
Okay.
yours. I'll stop my share.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think that means I'm next, so I'm just going to go right ahead.
No,
No?
not yet.
We're
Not
sure-
yet.
Yeah.
Not yet. Oh, sorry.
Like a wave in the water and the water in the wave, I am here in the heart of God.
Matthew Fox shares that the Via Positiva is about falling in love.
We are part of this unfolding of this unfathomable mystery that is infinitely creative and has unlimited potential to change, evolve, transform, and become something new again and again and again. Nature is the primary revelation of the divine, the primary scripture, the primary locus of divine human communion.
I was created to smile, to love, to be lifted up, and to lift others up.
To have humility is to be grounded in gratitude, recognizing the giftedness, the grace that life is. We are made of spirit stuff, soul stuff, love stuff, blessing stuff, and therefore we are kin to each other and all life on the planet, including the planet itself.
We are stars wrapped in skin. We and everything that exists are made of the same materials that are in stars.
Feel the flow. Let it grow. Let it infuse the cells of your being. This experience of the Via Positiva.
Fill me with the confidence of your love that I may live in freedom. We may discover truth about ourselves that we want to be living more fully or expressing more fully.
Looking inside my heart and wondering what to give.
Fundamentally, we are mysteries. We are offspring of the divine. We're beyond any story, beyond any description, beyond language, beyond image.
Sinking into nothingness and letting nothingness be nothingness. Fox says that one reason why nothingness is a prerequisite for renewal is that, in a real sense, those who commit themselves to liberation from pain must come to a 0 point wherein they have nothing to lose. We have to be emptied of those things which hold us back from our creative instincts. I didn't lose myself in the Via Negativa, but I found a fuller life instead by daring the darkness.
Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from the beyond.
To carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go.
We have the power to create or destroy. It can be said we are either creating heaven or we are creating hell. Fox says, quote, "The universe is waiting to see what it is we commit our visions to."
We bring our ability to create something precious, something new, as we seek to transform our lives, our relationships, our world.
Our fears can keep us from being creative or from reaching our creative potential. From fear of what others may think to fears of what we think of ourselves. One profound fear is that of our own divinity. We don't have to be perfect artists, just willing. Even our failures teach us, mature us to become better at the art of life. Forgiving ourselves becomes an art, even as learning to celebrate our successes becomes an art. When we create, when we play, We are not being childish. We are letting the child in us out. We let go of ego and judgments and enjoy each moment of creative play, splashing in the waters of what is possible, without fear and full of natural trust.
Oh, blessed breath, oh, blessed body, oh, blessed moment passing through.
Healing may not be so much about getting better as about letting go of everything that isn't you. In this time of so much challenge, we're creating pockets of coherence, islands of coherence. And as a group, we are more resilient than if one sits alone on a meditation pillow. I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was service. I acted, and behold, service was joy.
Before entering into a circle of ritual or ceremony or prayer, it's always good to open up the body, the mind, and the spirit to the radiance, to the divine light.
The universe can only be explained in terms of celebration. It is all an exuberant expression of existence itself.
Reach toward it and touch it. Touch it. Oh, how your heart has longed for this moment of intimacy. Your breath, your wisdom, your love. Ride this breath out into the world to a light wherever they are destined to go.
We are each a kind of supernova, where we have been given a particular set of gifts by this universe. Our role is to fashion new constructions of those gifts, to express them and give them away, radiating them like stars and supernovae.
Let us turn to face the west and wait for love to come like eagle's wings riding the wind to take us home as we scatter our blessings like the shimmer of angels on all who remain behind.
Every time we create safety and reassurance where before there was fear, we are giving a blessing. Every time we perform an act of kindness and compassion, we are being a blessing and sowing seeds of blessing. Any time we interfere with injustice in our midst, we are being a blessing and sowing seeds of blessing. When a blessing is invoked, it changes the atmosphere. The promise and call of living a blessing spirituality is to be a blessing and sow seeds of blessing everywhere we find ourselves.
My name is Robin Hubbard.
I'm Reverend Dr. Mary Riemann.
I'm Imogene Drummond.
I'm Mel Bricker.
My name is Chuck Burak.
My name is David Sharp.
My name's Penny.
I'm Kaleo.
Hello, and I'm Elise.
We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now, and what a time to be alive.
I hope that teased you into wanting to know more. You know, it's something you can take home with you and share. And I hope you love it. It's not quite ready, but we're getting close, aren't we, Mel? Aren't we, Robin?
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Now we pass it on to our vision holder.
Thank you, Marianne. Wow, that was really amazing. This, for me, is a real example of cosmogenesis, because I remember in 2016 working with Judy Shook, and I know Sid Hall was also very involved in the Wisdom Retreat. And the Wisdom Retreat was to be done in person, but COVID happened. And as with so many of other things, we've had to make things virtual. And so with this cosmogenic genetic gift that we have now. And I want to do a shout out also to Charlie, who helped to tape all this, put it all together for us, and she's done an amazing job. But as Mel mentioned earlier, this is a group of primarily volunteers. And as a group of primarily volunteers, we are just so dependent on people's goodwill, their time, and also bringing their gifts forward. We're always very anxious to receive more gifts and more people to join our circle. But my concern with having everything be volunteer is that there's always this turnover. The maximum number of years that you can serve is 6 years on the board, 2 3-year terms. By bylaws, you can't serve any longer than that. So people do have to leave. And when people leave, well, sometimes they exit, but a lot of times they turn around and do some amazing things. Like, for example, I think about the elder interviews that were done. Gail was past president of our group. She leaves as president because she has to. What does she do? She turns around and she's working with Penny. She's working with Bob. And here you all here today, you see the consequence, the result of all that work that she did. So Gail, I did see you finally joined us. You have to listen to the recording because you missed all the wonderful things people were saying earlier. But we are so very grateful for all the work you've put in. And the hours upon hours, I remember you mentioning to me once you wish you had all the hours back that you put into the ordination program. And I've seen the work you've done there. Just your hours have never been wasted. They haven't. We are so thankful for all that you've done. I can't think of anyone except maybe Mel who's done more for our group. And I'm just very grateful, very, very grateful. But there is a max of 6 years. So in order to stabilize this program, I came up with this idea of vision holder. And part of that, frankly, was also out of a dream I had for the CERT program that I felt compelled to tell Matt about. And I think it's interesting, a lot of times our dreams do drive a lot of this. So the dream certainly gives me a lot of energy for this. And also the fact that I attended Matt's school. A lot of you also attended Matt's school, and it was really quite an incredible experience. I know for myself, I came up with this dissertation that I'll be a different person after this. The name of my dissertation was "With Verdure Clad, the Soul Appears." And it's basically talking about Matt's program, his program at the school. And that's really, in a way, what we're trying to replicate here in a virtual setting. In a setting also, we recognize that people have time constraints. We feel even more urgency now to change the world. And so the requirements are not quite as stout as they were when I was at his school. But I did want to mention my dissertation, the topics here, because this is really an outline of what creation spirituality is. The return of the divine feminine, a new cosmology or cosmogenesis, courting mysticism, becoming a mystic, facing the shadow. We have an evil class coming up shortly. Informing our path and reinventing our work, deforming our religious constructs, sustainable ecology, and facing the fight. I mean, in essence, this is what the educational system is. It's greening you. It's giving you more education, more motivation, more zhush to carry on with your work. And so in terms of the future, we are very committed to helping as much as we can to continue to promote the 4 paths, to continue to promote that life is primarily a blessing. Biophilia. This is the kind of energy we want to bring forward, that life is primarily a blessing. It's a little bit, Marianne asked me to talk about the future, but you all have been in this circle together. You know, cosmogenesis, we don't know the future. We don't. We have to create it together. We have to create the future together. And from our part, we put these programs together. I'm so pleased, so very thankful for Marianne. My goodness, what a blessing she is. Talk about people coming at the right time. I love it. I love how the Spirit just has just blessed us so profoundly. So let's see. I did also want to do a shout out website. Thank you, Marianne, for bringing that up. And just let you know, our vision for the future for this website to contain a lot of materials that you can use in your local groups and to help teach people. I'm thinking, for example, of Bob Heigl has a beautiful 8-week course on introducing his church to creation spirituality. He also did a beautiful PowerPoint on Christian mystics that he presented to his church. And a lot of other people have done it. We saw Roxanne Schuler and her work with singing. So artist meditation, different PowerPoints, poems. We really want people to use this as a resource, but we also want you to contribute too. So keep that in mind. When you have something you'd like to share with our group, we very much welcome that. We're looking forward to creating a path for people to, with the least amount of work and time investment, be able to legitimately share these teachings with their friends, with their neighbors, with their communities. So, now, we also want to mention that we are increasing the frequency of our gatherings. That we're thinking of a virtual option coming up here shortly. I know Patty's working on that. And finally, in terms of the future, I would just be completely remiss if I didn't say that we stand on the back of all the volunteers who preceded us. And I may be a little bit of a paid position here, but the whole purpose of these paid positions is try to develop more stability and more organizational strength. It's difficult to do when you have all volunteers and there's all this turnover. So we have now Nathan in a permanent position as our contact communications person. Has been essential. Charlie has done an amazing job on our website, and she's so gifted in this arena and is going to be helping maintain the website. And I'm the third paid position, which my job is to help with communications as well, but talking to students and helping make sure our vision kind of stays intact. I'm sure if you spoke with some of my peers, they'd say, wow, it's kind of a mess yet. And it kind of is. It's a rough start here, but it's just starting. It's a new position. And we have total optimism that with time and with our Cosmogenesis communication that things will continue to develop and grow. So we're very excited about the future, and our future does most definitely involve you. So thank you for being here, and we very much welcome any input you would have for us. Next, Bob.
Thanks, Carolyn. That was great. Now we're moving into the segment where we're introducing what First Thursdays will encompass. And where we are now is that typically Global Kinship would arrive on the first Thursday of the month. It was January 2nd last week, so it was a little too close to holiday time, and we moved it back. But normally, and going forward, we will move into a session that is the first Thursday of the month. Each offering is there to provide connection, reflection, inclusivity, and continuity of the theme of creation spirituality. As you saw in the four paths, that's foundational to the work that we've all studied from, and it has proven over and over and over to be in accord with the heartbeat of the universe. We are energy flowing inside energy flowing. And so the four paths offer us a framework to hold the challenges, to hold the joys, to hold the collective effervescence. And so in that spirit, I would like to turn it over to Bob to say a little more about this and give another piece of the overview?
Sure, sure. Thanks, Penny. I wanted to start by sharing this specific schedule. You'll be seeing this in communications and in mailings and whatever, but this is what the year looks like as we launch into our new venture of the first Thursdays. And you'll see the rotation. There are some variations. That's why we've laid out every particular month. Particularly looking forward to continuing the Global Kinship webinars that we've been offering for the last, I think we've had 2 years now. Introducing Robin's global dreaming work, and you'll hear more about that in a minute. As Penny said, the Cosmic Vespers are very popular and growing in popularity, and so those will be continuing through the year. And the opportunity to celebrate with Marianne at Beltane celebrations for her work, ongoing work with labyrinths. She has years of experience with that and a lot of wisdom to share. So that's what we'll be seeing coming up over the year. So it's my treat to be able to talk about global kinship. And I'm really delighted to talk about it this afternoon because we don't often get a chance to actually talk about what it is we're trying to do here. So this is a continuation of this series. Those of you that have been around a while will know that Penny and Gail started something called Elder Interviews a number of years ago. I think I saw the number 8 years ago, which then transformed into Creation in Crisis. Oh, thank you. I'm sorry. I thought I had shared that. And now we are Global Kinship. And you note that we shift with the times as the times and our consciousness have been unfolding. We sometimes give this series the full name, Global Kinship, Exploring the Evolving Noosphere. The noosphere is a relatively new term for most of us. It was first identified a century ago by Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, a French Jesuit priest. He's also a paleontologist and a philosopher. He defined this as a conceptual layer of human thought that surrounds the Earth, building upon the earlier layers of the geosphere, the physical Earth, and the biosphere, the layer of living organisms. The term noosphere is has roots in the Greek nous, which means mind. And this represents the sphere of human consciousness, collective thought, and intellectual activity. Teilhard viewed the noosphere as the next evolutionary stage of the Earth, one shaped by human innovation, collaboration, and the development of higher consciousness. Brian Swimme calls this development complexification. And we certainly can appreciate that in this moment we are living in intense complexification. This phenomena happens simultaneously everywhere, like a rising from our collective subconscious, or an inspiration from the cosmic mind within which we live. To participate in this meeting of the minds, we need to pay attention to what is happening both inside and outside of us. That's why we're here. We are exploring the emerging noosphere. Our speakers so far have included the likes of Matt Fox, who you know is an American priest and theologian, founder of the University of Creation Spirituality, an author, teacher, and lecturer. Brian Swimme, you will probably know, is a mathematical cosmologist. I love the phrase. We often get to wrestle with, what is that about? He's also an author. He's a professor at the California Institute of Integral Studies in San Francisco. John Robinson is a clinical psychologist with a second doctorate in ministry, whose work on aging it was that actually inspired Gail and Penny to launch the Elder Interview Project. He has presented as both part of Elder Interviews and in Creation in Crisis series. Gail Warcello is a former Passionist nun who studied under Thomas Berry and co-founded the Green Mountain Monastery and the Thomas Berry Sanctuary in Vermont. Physicist Dr. Sarbmeet Kanwal uses his gift of making deep science explicable to the rest of us and illustrates how this can help guide us in these challenging times. Another fascinating guest, Joe Brewer, who teaches and inspires communities around the world how to restore the planet, one bioregion at a time. J.D. Stillwater is a Cornell-educated science ambassador and author who writes and speaks about profound insights from natural reality. And we've been blessed with many more. For a brief taste, here's a short clip from Brian talking about his book, Cosmogenesis. Give me a second to, where did we go? Right there. Sorry. Here we go.
You know, there are a number of practices that I use. I'm not a very disciplined person in terms of spiritual practice. So I in a haphazard way, what I look for in my daily life is the cosmological dimension of an ordinary moment. The cosmological dimension, they surface. And maybe I'll just use one of the examples I put in Cosmogenesis. My whole aim really in writing Cosmogenesis was to help people see the cosmos working in their ordinary lives, and not just sort of theoretically understand it, but like you say, Jennifer, to feel it. It's like suddenly you just, I mean, I really hope that the Cosmogenesis generates a number of other books or art projects, because it feels so different for everyone, and when we can compare notes, you know, and it makes us realize that we've had these experiences many times, but we haven't been able to articulate them because they haven't been widely supported by our culture. So the one, maybe just to choose one, like Cosmogenesis consists of 24 such moments, right? And in a sense, Jennifer, each of them becomes a spiritual practice for me. So just to name one, I was in a lot of pain, physical pain. My heart was not doing well, and I was staring at. It was after church, and I was looking at my arm, and I don't know why, honestly, I just suddenly noticed. I just looked at my arm, and I felt the sun. I felt the sun's rays warming my skin. Just came out of church, and then suddenly the sunlight is on my skin. And I just sat there and I thought, in all my life, I have never once thought about how my body has the power of changing photons into feelings of warmth. I mean, I just sort of took it for granted or something, but photons are these particles flying through the air. They land on my skin, and I feel my consciousness. I feel warm. And so I was amazed by that, and then I was sort of remembering that the complexity of the skin and was composed of atoms that came from a star that exploded. So there I'm staring at my arm. I'm amazed at this power. The photons from one star are transforming into warmth that has been enabled by the atoms that came from another star. So I had like this, the other star was billions of years old, right? And so I had this feeling, a simple feeling of being inside this cosmic event. It was happening. And I was simply witnessing it.
So that's just one small example of the kind of sharing that happens during our global kinship sessions. Of course, Brian is particularly wonderful to listen to and to pick up on his very personal, very intimate experience and wisdom. And so we hope you look out for future global kinship sessions and join us when those unfold throughout the year. And remind me, Penny, who are we going next?
We get to preview next month's offering, Global Dreaming with Robin Hubbard. Welcome, Robin. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you so much. I'm really grateful and honored to be invited into this ongoing rich offering, and grateful to Penny and Bob and Gail and joining Marianne also, and just excited to see how this grows and evolves over this next year. So a little bit about me. So I'll be sharing or facilitating the global dreaming component of this first Thursdays. And I am a DMin graduate from UCS. I graduated in 2006, and I'm a CSC board member. And in my everyday life, I'm a spiritual companion and a counselor and a certified dream worker through Jeremy Taylor's former Marin Institute of Projective Dream Work. And I took my first DreamWork class with Jeremy at UCS in 1997, and it completely transformed my understanding of dreams and consciousness. And I've had a lifelong, profound relationship with my dreams, and in my former, earlier life, often challenging relationship, but also very guiding. So I was very I was longing to understand more about the dream world. So Jeremy, over time, became my personal and professional mentor for over 25 years before he died in 2018. Excuse me. And along with other teachers as well, but he still continues, I really feel him, to mentor me across the veil. And I'm so grateful for that. He's just an incredible gift to the world of dream work, and really to the planet. So I incorporate Jungian, archetypal, indigenous, and somatic wisdom and practices into working with dream encounters. So that's some of what we'll be doing in our global dreaming time. It will be experiential. The work that we do together, it will definitely be engaged contemplation together, and in the group setting. It's a powerful way to experience the fact that we're all dreaming the same dream in different flavors and spices. That's kind of the archetypal component of how we're also interconnected. In the group, we'll explore dreams through the lens of, in Jeremy's language, in my imagined version of this dream. So we really, when we share, anytime we share dream imagery or dreams or any type of dream content, is to really listen to a dream as if it were our own dream. And that's one way. That will be a primary way that we will be working with dream imagery. in the group, and it gives us an opportunity to have encounters with each other's dreams, creating the collective experience, including our own dreams. But so we're being called forth into soul awakening and consciousness so strongly at this time. And, you know, this will be an enlivening opportunity to just explore images, figures, collective themes, the things that are, you know, collectively calling us forth, and also personally calling us forth to live into the courage it takes for us to meet this moment in time, and birth this new humanity and this ongoing cosmogenesis. So, yeah. Anyway, that's basically what we're going to be doing in Global Dreaming. And I thought I would like to offer, if you all are willing, just a little snippet of an experiential kind of active imagination, guided meditation. So it's just a little taste of what we'll be doing, and kind of a little introduction to global dreaming, if you will. So if you're willing, just kind of get yourself comfortable in your chairs or however you're sitting, and begin to turn your attention inward. We've been listening to a lot, and so now it's time to just turn our attention inward, whether that's softening your gaze or closing your eyes. Just begin by noticing the in and out of your breath, the rise and the fall of your chest. And with each exhale, drop a little bit more into the weight of your body in your seat, just coming into presence in this now moment. Now imagine yourself stepping into a safe and comfortable, nurturing capsule, something that feels good and familiar and comfortable for you. And your capsule has windows just the right size for you to see your surroundings and feel comfortable in. This capsule safely lifts and carries you off the ground and up towards the sky. You're at ease with this journey and with this movement. You rise up and up. Through your windows, you see the beauty of the nature of your surroundings here on this planet. Take it in as you continue to travel up. Eventually, your capsule moves through this planet's atmosphere. And now you're floating with ease and comfort in space, beyond the confines of Earth's gravitational pull. You feel light and free. Through the windows of your capsule, you look around and take in the awe and wonder of the cosmos surrounding you. The stars, the planets, the other galaxies, whatever it is that you can see in this moment, the light and the dark. Allow yourself to be curious with what you see and feel. Now, through your windows, look back at our planet Earth. Again, notice what you see, the beautiful blue globe floating. Take in this experience of witnessing our planet from this greater perspective within the cosmos. What are the sensations that you notice? What is your feeling in this moment? Is there any wisdom or message that you hear? Is there a blessing you feel inspired to offer? Just notice how you're feeling, the sensations, what you see, what you feel, what you hear, what your creative imagination is offering you in this moment. If it feels right, offer some gratitude for this experience and acknowledge that if it serves you, this is a feeling and place you can come back to in your special capsule. Your capsule now safely brings you back down, back through the Earth's atmosphere as you travel down and down, slowly and gently and easefully toward the ground again. Take in the more familiar sights as you gently come to land in your familiar place. Step out of your capsule and find your way back into your seat. Again, come back to the in and out of your breath and the sensation of your body in your seat. Take a few breaths to come back to your presence in the here and now and our connection with each other in this community, in this group. When it feels right, open your eyes and type one word in the chat that captures your guided dream experience here today, so we can share the feelings and the inspirations. Awe, grace, expansiveness, nurturing, wonder, happiness, blessing. Beautiful. A weightless speck. Loveland. Glowing radiance. Yeah. Beautiful. I also saw a question. Jeremy's last name was Taylor. Jeremy Taylor. Yeah. Curiosity. Love that. We're going to spend a lot of time in global dreaming being curious. So hopefully you can come with a curious spirit and open to connecting with sensations and feelings and things that we can share to inspire each other, to live into the courage that it takes to meet the moment of these times. And Jeremy used to say that when you have, I don't know if any of you have experienced seeing Earth or being out in space and seeing Earth, as a dream image, that it's a marker of psychospiritual growth and evolution. seeing from a larger perspective and kind of having an opportunity to open the possibilities of what's available for us out from this greater perspective. So this opportunity here today was to take us into that experience of this, the potential of each one of our psychospiritual growth and evolution in this greening and this cosmogenesis as we grow and evolve together. So thank you so much. I really look forward to participating and facilitating and doing this global dreaming with you in this larger First Thursdays experience. And I'll see hopefully some of you on February 9th, I believe it is.
Sounds wonderful. Well, welcome to First Thursdays, Robin. It's my joy to speak about Cosmic Vespers. Cosmic Vespers emerged from the course, the certification course that I taught called Cosmogenesis, when folks didn't feel finished. They wanted to continue some aspect going forward. And Cosmic Vespers was born, and it became this lovely galaxy of the gifts of Marianne and Gail and Bob and J.D. Stillwater, and it continues to be a light in my life. So what is Cosmic Vespers? Well, I want to start with a quote that Matthew Fox recently published in his daily message. If I could have one wish for humanity this year, what would it be? I think it would be that we could rediscover our relationship to the cosmos, for it is from that relationship that our generosity, our gratitude, our wonder, our sense of reverence and of the sacred are rediscovered and energized anew. Well, that's what we're pointing to when we come together at Cosmic Vespers. An evening or an afternoon now of Cosmic Vespers will include a centering, then a teaching, because we are living into rapidly changing information. Every once in a while, something that the James Webb has unfolded has science abuzz saying, oh, we've got to reconfigure everything. And so it's science living into the mystery and awe of what they're learning in our lifetime, in this moment. And in this upcoming year, we have this to look forward to. 6 months from now, the largest camera ever built for astronomy will start snapping images of the sky from a mountaintop in Chile. It'll take a photo every 3 nights for 10 years. That camera is part of the Vera C. Rubin Observatory's survey of space and time, looking to answer some of science's biggest questions, like how did the Milky Way form? Or what exactly are dark matter and energy? In addition, the survey will also create an inventory of the solar system and observe what we are calling transients, objects such as solar systems that move across the sky or change brightness. This is going to break open a whole lot more. And we get to be participants in the awe of us, lay people as we are, science failures like I am, but who live into this awe with just such complete joy. And then after the teaching, we go into silence to sit with this in our own way, whether it's doing some kind of form of art or movement or meditation. And then we come out and we engage in what physicist David Bohm called emergent dialogue, which is a dialogue that's like speaking meditation. We're engaged in creating our we space together and letting what wants to come through in this moment, in what is happening in this exact moment with others in a shared space. And then we close with some sort of blessing or chant. And we did 6 of them last year, and each one continued to grow in thoughtfulness and excitement. So I thought I'd share something that kind of takes us to the end of our time together, but catches what's really, really on my heart and mind is how much languaging we are needing to evolve and create. And to that end, Gregory Bateson's daughter, Nora Bateson, came up with this word. And it's not so much that you have to remember the word, but it's what she defines the word as. And the word is somathesy. And somathesy is a way of understanding living systems. And it's co-learning, which each of these offerings for First Thursdays are really trying to bring forward. So somathesy is understanding how living systems like communities, ecosystems, or organizations grow and learn through their relationships. It highlights how everything within the system is interconnected and how those connections drive learning and change. It points to interconnection. Every part of the system depends on the others. It's not just the pieces that matter, but the relationships between them. It's shared learning. The system evolves because its parts influence each other and learn together. Each part changes as it interacts with the others. It's adaptable. The system responds to the environment and adjusts based on the context and relationships within it. It's emergent. When the parts interact, new ideas, behaviors, or solutions arrive that wouldn't if you hadn't just looked at each other at the part individually. And its whole system. And one thing that universe, understanding the cosmos as flowing through us, one of the biggest lessons is that it is a whole system. And each of the systems within the universe is a whole system. We are whole systems. And so it's coming to live from that place of wholeness. So we hope not only that Cosmic Vespers offers somathesy, but that each of these offerings, the intention is to have them each provide this shared learning experience. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Marianne, who shares May's version of First Thursday.
Can we just get a question answered in the chat? How do you spell somathesy?
Yes, we can. I'll type it in.
Thank you, dear Penny. A maze is not a labyrinth. first thing I learned in my training. A maze asks you to make decisions and tries to trick you. And in some of us produces anxiety, but a labyrinth, most labyrinths, almost all labyrinths, one path. It's unicursal. No matter how windy it gets, it leads you to the center. You spend time there. You come out on the very same path. And we hope it leads to our center. So a labyrinth walk, we're dealing with the archetype of labyrinth, which invites us to speak in more metaphors, Robin, metaphors. And if you have to bring a labyrinth to a labyrinth walk. And please, have any of you ever come to this walk that I do? I'll bet not. I know Carolyn has, and Bob has. He's been my staunch tech person. If you have a handheld labyrinth, this is plastic and there's a little place you can put your finger. That's great. You can also use a paper labyrinth, and we usually provide a link for you to print out either a medieval style Chartres labyrinth or a classical labyrinth. Doesn't matter. People bring their pillows on which they've embroidered labyrinths. Do not discount the power that a handheld labyrinth, where you're not walking with your feet, don't discount its potential power. I bought this when I trained, and I thought, yeah, well, when I teach, I'm going to just hold it up and I'll talk about the lunations and I'll talk about the rosette in the center. But I'm telling you, the labyrinth took on a bunch of different power when the pandemic hit. And I wasn't near any kind of outdoor labyrinth. And the organization that trained me started having virtual walks every Friday and has continued that. Free virtual walks every Friday. Go to viriditas.org, register, get your free link, enjoy it. The times alternate between noon Pacific and 4 Pacific. I think that's right. Just so that different people in different parts of the world can join us. But what I like to do for creation spirituality is make this a creation-centered walk. And so I focus on the cosmological aspects of solstices and equinoxes, and then the cross-quarter days made by humans before religion was around. Humans looked and were really connected with the cosmos as well as the intermeshedness of this planet. And the cross-quarter days told them when to plant and when to harvest. And I've been learning about it. You know, we teach what we need to learn. And so I've been learning about that. I share a little bit about that. We always do an acknowledgement of what we're thankful for. We start with that. And I do a setup usually where I tell you a little bit about that particular day and my CS take on it. And then we walk. And we walk for 6 to 10 minutes to music. So we are silent. Notice every single one of these First Thursday events, well, maybe not global kinship, but the Vespers and the dreaming and labyrinth walks all involve silence. We walk in silence because labyrinth walking, it's moving meditation. We can't all do seated meditation. Besides, I like to put my feet on the ground and connect that way. So that's a big piece of it. We try really hard not to have 2 events. We will not have 2 events on the same day. So the next labyrinth walk, because what I offer is the movable feast. There are 8 times, right? 2 solstices, 2 equinoxes, 4 quarter days, cross quarter days. And the next one will be in bulk. which is on February 2nd, but that's the first Sunday. So we're going to have our Labyrinth Walk on Saturday, the 1st of February. We've been having it at 7 p.m. Now, the exception is when it's on May, whatever that day is in May, the first Thursday in May. It will be at 4 p.m. This event is always at 4 p.m. I hope you come. I hope you love it. I hope you try it out. I hope you use the Labyrinth. It is my practice every single morning. I turned Bob on to the app you can put on your phone, which is free. Yep, he's got it right there, and it's great. You put your little finger on it, and you have to really concentrate because it's tiny, and the path changes color as you go into it, right? And then it gets when you get to the center. It's really fun. So, and then the path goes away as you leave, and it doesn't let you leave until you get to the center. So that's all. I want to invite you, and we've got some time, I think, now for a little bit of Q&A, if that's right, Penny. Although you might want to have Gail sing.
We're certainly up for any burning questions, and then we'll close out with Bob and then Gail chanting us out, which is a regular part of Cosmic Vespers. Any questions? Has this been helpful? I mean, have we made it clear what we're attempting? Okay.
I can't. Hi, Penny. I hate to interrupt, but I can't find the raise the hand.
That's okay. Go ahead, Barbara.
Okay. I just want to thank you all because I felt like I got a very good overview of all the things that are out there to sort of now look into, because I've never quite been sure how I ended up in this group, but I find it just like I can be part of the story, but well, I am part of the story, but it all does make some kind of cosmic sense to me, and I look forward to exploring it more. And I just felt the overview really put in context a lot of the little pieces that I was getting confused about. So now I feel kind of just filled and ready for the next year. So thank you all.
Thank you, Barbara.
You're welcome.
It's great to hear.
No, it's heartfelt too.
Wonderful. All right. Well,
okay,
with that, we'll turn it to Bob, and then when Bob finishes, Gail, will you chant us out?
Did have a raised hand.
Oh, raised hand.
Oh, sorry.
Carol.
I'd like to invite the whole community to turn their hands to these incredible leaders, these blessings. They have been vessels of, carriers of the creation spirituality tradition, bringing it forward. And so I bet all of you will join me, and you can unmute if you want and thank them deeply, from the deep past to the deep future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, very true.
And blessing.
No, it was an honor to be part of this today, to hear all these stories that make up a whole. Really special.
That's great.
Thank you all.
That's great. Thank you, Carol, and thanks all. We do like to close out our sessions, although today there'll be one more thing after this. We like to close out our sessions with a bit of wisdom, a bit of a blessing. It takes many forms. Today, I've chosen a piece of wisdom from a Buddhist friend of many of us, Thich Nhat Hanh, who has this to say to us. If I can unclutter my screen. Scientists tell us that we have enough technology to save our planet, but psychologically we are not capable. We're not peaceful, enlightened, or awake enough to do it. That is why, while scientists are trying to discover ways to improve our technology, we as members of the human race have to practice so that we can transcend our fear, our despair, forgetfulness, and irresponsibility. A collective change of consciousness will bring about a new way of life, a mindful way of living. The technology that is available to us will be enough to help us save this planet. So I encourage you to take those words in, reflect on what they mean in each of our lives, and show us a way that we can help carry forward the work in our own lives. And then, Gail, where are you?
I'm
So,
here.
there you go, Gail.
I get it.
So, do you need to say anything before I put up your image?
Just a little bit. This is a chant by Michael Stillwater from his album Chant Wave. It's fantastic. I have changed some of the words so that it is not, we don't use the word God as trying to encompass the whole divine. And we also changed the word from mother and father to one and love and spirit. So it's his work, it's his sentiment, and we've just brought the words into where our minds are right now, our consciousness is. Thank you. Bob has a slide. I am one with the heart of creation. I am one with the heart of love. I am one with the source of the spirit. I am one with all. I am one with the heart of creation. I am one with the heart of love. I am one with the source of the spirit. I am one with all. We will remember who we are. We will remember that love is in us. We will remember who we are. We will remember that we are love. I am one with the heart of creation. I am one with the heart of love. I am one with the source of the spirit. I am one with all. I am one with the heart of creation. I am one with the heart of love. I am one with the source of the spirit. I am one with all. We will remember who we are. We will remember that love is in us. We will remember who we are. We will remember that we are love. I am one with the heart of creation. I am one with the heart of love. I am one with the source of the spirit. I am one with all.
Thank you, everyone, for being part of this. Thank you, Gail. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Marianne, Carolyn, Robin.
Penny, thank you, Penny.
Yes.
Yes.
And I hope you savored the banquet as you're able, and tell people who might want to join us. We are building the noosphere, one connection at a time. And the island of coherence comes out of complexity theory, and it's saying when systems are dissipating, it's the strongest island of coherence that will be raised up next. And so, you know, sometimes when you question, is what you're doing mattering? It matters. it matters for that island of coherence of what is to be. So blessings all, and we'll see you as the year unfolds.
Love you. Bye.